snow was relentless. That afternoon, thick white sheets falling from the sky like nature had turned the world into silence. On the edge of downtown Chicago, tucked between a laundromat and a closed bookstore, stood Millie's Corner Cafe, a small, old-fashioned diner with peeling paint but a warm soul. Inside, the smell of cinnamon rolls and coffee mixed with the distant sound of a jazz tune playing from the radio. Behind the counter stood Vanessa, a black woman in her early 40s, with kind eyes and a strength that life had carved into her bones. She had just wiped down the counter when the door opened with a sharp gust of icy wind. Vanessa looked up and froze. A young boy, no older than 9, stood in the doorway, holding a little girl who couldn't have been more than 4. Her tiny arms clung around his neck, her face buried in his shoulder, while he stood there with trembling lips, soaked shoes, and clothes that hadn't been warm in weeks. The snow clung to their eyelashes. Their cheeks were red from the cold, and their silence cut through the room sharper than the wind. Vanessa didn't wait. She reached behind the counter, grabbed 2 steaming cups of hot cocoa, and stepped forward with a soft smile. "You poor Barbies," she whispered, offering the cup to the boy with gentle hands. "Come in, sit down, you look frozen to the bone." The boy hesitated. His eyes were tired, cautious, but the smell of chocolate, the warmth in Vanessa's voice, it broke whatever wall he had built. He stepped forward slowly and let her lead them to the nearest booth. "What's your name, sweetheart?" she asked as she placed a blanket around the girl. "Lucas," he said quietly, "and this is my sister Emma." Vanessa sat beside them, pouring more cocoa. "You two out here alone?" Lucas looked away. "Since last month, our mom," she passed, "we had to leave the shelter. They said they were full." Emma's lips trembled, and Vanessa's heart cracked. She didn't press further. She knew that look, the silent suffering of kids forced to grow up too soon. Instead, she went to the back, grabbed 2 bowls of chicken stew, and brought them out with warm bread. "Eat," she said gently, "then we'll figure things out." That night when her shift ended and the cafe closed, Vanessa let the kids sleep in the booth. She stayed late, watching over them, her coat draped over their tiny bodies, a quiet prayer on her lips. She didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but she knew what they needed tonight: warmth, food, and love. In the morning, she made them pancakes with extra syrup and called her cousin, who worked in social services. It hurt her soul to see them go, but she hugged them tightly, pressing small sandwiches into Lucas's pocket and whispering, "Be strong for her, you're a good big brother." Lucas didn't say anything, just nodded, eyes full of tears he wouldn't let fall. Emma clutched Vanessa's finger until the very last second. They disappeared into the system. 15 years passed. Vanessa's life remained simple. She never married, never had children of her own, but she mothered everyone who stepped into her diner. She worked double shifts, gave away food to anyone hungry, and lived paycheck to paycheck. Her hair turned a little grayer, her hands a little stiffer, but her heart remained soft. Then one Sunday morning, as snowflakes danced once more outside her window, she heard the sound of a car outside. Not just any car, a sleek, black luxury sedan with tinted windows and shining chrome. It looked like something from a movie. She frowned, pulling on her robe and peeking out. A man stepped out, tall, well-dressed, with a confident stride. Behind him, the back door opened, and a woman in a long navy coat stepped out with a bouquet of tulips. Her eyes, bright, familiar, unforgettably kind, locked onto Vanessa. It hit her like a memory she thought she'd lost. "Lucas," she whispered. He smiled, nodding. "Hi, Miss Vanessa." Tears spilled before she could stop them. He was no longer a child, he was a man, strong, sharp, and calm. And beside him, Emma, now a grown woman, wrapped her arms around Vanessa like the little girl who once couldn't let go. "You saved us," Emma whispered. "You were the first person in our life who treated us like we mattered." Lucas held out a small envelope and a set of car keys. "This is for you. We bought the building. You own this cafe now, no more rent. And this car, it's yours too, for every time you walked home in the snow just so we could eat." Vanessa shook her head, overwhelmed. No, I can't accept this." "But we already did," Lucas said, smiling. We're just returning what was already yours. You gave us everything when you had nothing." Vanessa broke down. She hugged them, her soul trembling with a joy she never expected to receive. Over the next few weeks, the diner got a new sign, Vanessa's Corner Cafe. It was refurbished, staff were hired, and Vanessa became the official grandma of the place. Customers lined up not just for food, but to meet the woman who fed 2 orphans in a storm and whose quiet kindness changed lives forever. And every time the snow fell, Vanessa would look out the window with a mug of cocoa in her hands, smiling. Because kindness doesn't ask for rewards, but sometimes it brings home a family.